guys, and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today we're going to be making an organic gluten-free homemade pizza, and I'll be sharing my recipe with you guys. I'll also be sharing my dough recipe with you, which is so important because the thing that makes the pizza for me is the dough. So we're gonna start with our gluten-free all-purpose flour. I actually got this from Publix. It must be more than I don't want to say more than $7. So we're gonna put two cups of all-purpose gluten-free flour. We started with our dough first because I like to keep my dough wrapped in a warm place for at least an hour because we're going to be using yeast so it can rise. I know people use baking powder. I've tried baking powder mixtures before and it doesn't have a soft texture. So we've added 2 cups of flour. I use a whole yeast, so we're gonna add our yeast in. Honestly, salt. I add black pepper in my dough recipe. You know, I like flavor in everything I do. It just gives it a nice little zhuzh. And then of course I have some basil and Italian seasoning, but you can add a tablespoon of olive oil. Let me wash my hands. Put a 1/4 cup of lukewarm water. If you can see like the texture of my dough now, you must be able to like move it around. It's not too sticky, it's not too dry. Alright, the reason why I'm tying up the dough in the bowl so no air can go inside. And then I'm gonna keep it in a warm place, and the warmest place of course I have in my house or in my kitchen is the oven. Bear in mind the oven's not on, it's off, so it's just gonna sit in the oven for about an hour. So it's time to start with our topping. I have some chicken breast. I added some olive oil, like a tablespoon of olive oil into my pan. I'm gonna add some onions. Let that fry a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna let the water finish, and then once the water is finished, we can start adding our spices. We'll start with our chili pepper, paprika. I mix chili pepper and paprika in there just to give it a little. I have my Italian seasoning, and then I have black pepper. I have like a teaspoon of black pepper, a teaspoon, and this is a tablespoon. I put a teaspoon of each, so I'll just say a tablespoon. And then we'll wait for the water to get down, and then we can add our spices. A barbecue sauce, we can just let that simmer for about 2-3 minutes. You don't have to overcook this. Even if it's a minute, it's fine, just so that it gets the juices in. You know what I mean? But try not to overcook your chicken. Like after this, you keep it on for a minute or 2, not more than 5 minutes. It's up to you. You're still gonna grill it, remember. Dough out the oven, so you can just pretty much just open it up. This is so perfect. This is actually how your dough is supposed to look. Perfect. Oh my god, it's so soft. Now that my counter is clean, we're gonna roll the dough on the counter. Out of here, I grease my tray before I start the dough because I kind of measure the thickness of my dough on how big the tray is. So I have some all-purpose flour because it's going to stick. Now that our counter is clean, you can just put some flour so that it doesn't stick too much to the counter. Put too much flour, just put enough flour so you can stretch the dough out. Stretch it out, like just stretch it out enough so it can fit. So you see what I'm doing? So, oh, this is actually thick, so let's stretch it out a little bit. So we're gonna place this right over here. I know some people use tomatoes paste or grate up tomatoes. You can use that, but I use ketchup. You can add some organic ketchup. Don't add too much, just add enough to spread it out, and then you can just put a drop of barbecue just to make sure you have that barbecue flavor, because we are making barbecue chicken. And as so I'm gonna add some black pepper. Now that we're done, we're gonna put this in the oven for 10 minutes before we start putting our toppings. Look at that. So you can see it's risen. So we can get that out. Start like spreading our chicken around. Okay, so you can start adding like your green pepper. I actually chopped out one whole green pepper. Let's add our mushrooms. I'll just put some Italian seasoning, just season a little bit for your veggies, remember. And then I'll add some black pepper on top. So we're gonna put this back in the oven for at least another 10 minutes. Okay, so now we're gonna get our cheese onto our pizza. This looks like it's ready. We can add our cheese now. That looks perfect. I'm gonna add some organic mild cheddar. If you guys are not into organic stuff, you can use regular cheese, regular flour, regular everything, but this is just like a better option. And now that we've added our cheese, we can put this back in the oven for at least another 5 minutes. Just let the cheese dissolve and let your onions and your pepper, you know. But me, I love peppers. I just put it on the cheese just for a last bit. Okay, we're gonna put this back in the oven.